to my channel. My name is Dammie. As always, in today's video I'm going to be answering some questions I received via my community page. I made a community post on my YouTube channel. I don't know if you guys saw it, but a few people saw it and they sent through their questions. So yeah, basically I'm going to be answering those questions. Without further ado, let's get right into it. If you see me looking down, that's just because I'm looking at the questions down here. So I'll read it on and then we address them one after the other. So the first question here says, do you not feel lonely and disassociated sometimes, especially when you're not seeing a lot of people who look like you? In answering that question, that's a very good question, to be honest. Do you feel lonely? Of course, sometimes, and that's because family and friends are not close by. Disassociated regularly, especially when you go to places where you don't find a lot of black people around. But does that affect me in any way? No. Maybe at the initial stage, I felt a bit lonely. I felt maybe when I go to places I don't see a lot of black people, it bothers, tinkle borders, not borders that makes me cry or worry me so much. Loneliness, I feel like since I moved to Australia, because even the people who, like the few black African people you see around, are busy working. Everybody's just here trying to make a ends meet. Like, people have whatever they are going through as well. So this season I feel like I've learned to enjoy my own company. I like spend time with my kids. I just like, whenever there's time to play with people, fine. When there's not, you keep it moving. But it doesn't change anything. You would feel lonely, I won't lie. You feel disassociated, especially sometimes when I find myself in certain places and I look around and I'm the only black person. Best believe people are staring at you because you obviously look different. But one thing I would say is Australia is a very multicultural country. So when you're even saying disassociated, it's just because you might not see a lot of black people, but even the people you're seeing around are from different countries. I've said it several times. My office, for instance, which is where I go to the most, like 5 days a week of 7 days. If you count 5 people in my countries, most often times the 5 of them might be from 5 different countries. You know, like I have people who are from Philippines, India, Sri Lanka, Zimbabwe. Like, there are people from different countries, so it doesn't change anything. As human, you think about it, it will cross your mind, but I don't think it has any negative impact, or yeah, it doesn't have any negative impact in our lives so far. That's what I'll say. So to the next question. Hi, can you explain more about the career visa? I'm planning to come to around by August. I don't know much about it. I won't comment on it. That's just what I'll say. I don't know much about the career visa. I've not heard anything about career visa specifically. I know that there's a new labor agreement for aged care workers. I've not read into it because yeah, it's not my line. I don't know, but please, I'll just, for this person who asked this question, I briefly read it last night because somebody asked me as well, but I was not willing to commit so much time. So I'll put the link where you can read. I'll put it in the description, please. JK, I'll drop a link where you can go to the immigration website and read more about this visa class for you. But for me to talk about it, I don't know much, and I can say what I don't know, basically. But I know that there's a new aged care worker agreements that became effective this month of May. The next question, it says, how do you find life in Australia? Would you advise someone to move to Australia? This question is in many parts, so I'll answer it one by one. How do you find life in Australia? I find it relaxing, rewarding. I don't know how to put it, but I find life in Australia very good. Like, I love it here. I say it all the time. I won't trade living anywhere else for Australia. Of course, if Nigeria is good, I want to go back home. There's never a place like home. But with the chaos, the politics and everything going on in Nigeria, I love living in Australia. There's peace. There's just like, it's just good for me and my family. So for your family, you may have a different story, but for my family, we are happy here. We love it here. Australia is home, and we just love it here. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel. And I feel really blessed to be opportune to come to a country like this. I feel like I'm one of those few people that God have favored, because Australia is not like, the door is not open that everybody can just come in. So those of us that were here, we feel grateful that we are given the opportunity to come to this beautiful, amazing country. Would you advise someone to move to Australia? By all means, if you have a means to come into Australia, please do. I promise you, you will not regret it. I don't think, I'm not sure, but for me, I've not found people who are from my own part of the country that regret coming here. Everybody loves it here. But one thing I would say is, before you come into Australia, make sure you do your research properly. Don't come in. You know, there are some people when they are going to certain countries, they're like, "Kako wole," you know, like, make we just enter first. No, Australia is not the country to come through and just say make we enter first. Make sure you do your research. Make sure there are routes to permanent residency if you're not coming on a PR visa. Make sure you study and research about the route to permanent residency. You don't want to come here and get stranded. Those are the things that make people haul insult on Australia, or make people have bitter experience living in Australia, because if they don't have, if there's no eventual pathway for them to get permanent residency, they now hate the country, and you know, they start saying a lot of things. But if you do your personal research before coming in, and you know you have a planned pathway to permanent residency, it just makes everything easier for you at the end of the day. So that's what I would say. I would advise people to come here any day, anytime. Like, I love it here. And this is from someone who have lived in the UK. I schooled in the UK, so I know what UK looks like. I've been to the US a couple of times, so I'm speaking from experience. I love it here. The next one, what do you miss in Nigeria? Jeez, I miss Nigerian parties. Like, I miss Owambe. I'm a Yoruba girl, and you know what I mean. Like, I just miss Owambe. I miss parties. Oh no gosh, I miss parties. Like, forget it. I miss Nigerian parties. I miss Nigerian food. I miss my family. Like, I just miss having access to my family community I had in Nigeria. I miss that. So yeah, those are the three things. I miss Owambe party. I miss Nigerian food. And then I just, even food, like this night, my husband was saying that, I don't like your food these days. I'm like, it's because you've been eating the same food for the past how many years. Maybe let's go and try something else, you know. But you know, in Nigeria, there's one place we're talking about, there's one place we want to go and eat amala. But because I'm cooking it over and over, and it has become repetitive, and these guys are just tired of my food. How on earth? Maybe I should just not even cook for them. But anyway, so yeah, I miss the food. I miss the options to change. And we live in Queensland. At the moment, there is no Nigerian restaurant in Queensland. I know a little Lagos is opening soon. Hopefully, by the time they open, we can twerk and, like, you know, make some choices. In this house, we don't used to eat Oyinbo food. If it's not Nigerian food, we know they chop. So we are really like just stuck with whatever I make. And even me, I'm tired of my own food sometimes. So I don't really blame them. So yeah, I miss the food. I miss the party. What was the last thing? The community, my family and friends is the last thing I miss about living in Nigeria. Do you ever think of going back? No. Like, capital letter, no. Except Nigeria becomes good. But I've been in Nigeria with good since I was born. So I don't know where we'll get there. But do I think of going back with Nigeria of today? Capital letter, no. I'm here for good. Okay? And the next one, well, I'm Uganda. Oh, I didn't even know. Well, I'm Uganda, fully passionate and wanting to come and stay in Brisbane. Answer this form. I think I did answer your question. Yeah. I was answering it based on my Nigerian mindset. I didn't even know she's from Uganda. Yeah, so I won't think of living in Australia. It is so good living here. Like, the life, yeah, the security, there's money, the weather is beautiful. It's just everything amazing. So if you get the opportunity to come here, please make sure you give it a try. The next question, please, this is my question. Can you advise someone who will be moving to Australia, Sunshine Coast by Brisbane, to do so? And do you think it's a beautiful, quiet place to live and study? I've been to Sunshine Coast, I think twice or thrice now. It is beautiful. It is quiet. For study, I didn't school there. I didn't school in Australia, so I can't say much about it, but I believe it will be good. For living, it is a beautiful, quiet place. Like, it's not rowdy. So yeah, I think it is a nice place to live. It's in Queensland, and it's very close to Brisbane. I think it's about 2 hours or 1 and I don't know. about 2 hours drive, I think, to where I stay. So you can always come to Brisbane to visit. The only other thing I would say is that if you're going to Sunshine Coast, maybe I don't know what your immigration status you're coming in as. I feel like some part of Sunshine Coast would be regional area, and then the opportunities to get some certain type of visas you might not get if you're living in central Queensland, like Brisbane and things like that. So yeah, I don't think going to Sunshine Coast is a bad idea. Make sure you just explore it and enjoy your time there. I feel like anywhere you find yourself in Australia, you can enjoy yourself, make best use of your time wherever you find yourself. That's just what works. So yeah, the next question, and which is the last one, from the same person. Please, what do you think about University of Sunshine Coast? Like I said, I did not school in Australia, so I will not be able to answer that question. I did school here, so I don't know. Just make sure you read the reviews about the school, read reviews by past students, and see what they have to say. I don't really know much about school and study routes to Australia, and I love to live at Sunshine Coast when I move by July. Tell me what you think of Sunshine Coast. I think I've said what I think. It's quiet, it's beautiful. We always go there for the beach. It has beautiful beaches, and a lot of sightseeing centers are on the Sunshine Coast. So yeah, those are the few questions I received. If you guys have any other questions, that post is still there, but I can do a fresh one. Just check my community tab on my YouTube channel. You can drop your questions, and even if you have questions, you can drop it in this video and I can film about it at a later time. Hopefully I did justice to that. Thank you for watching, and if you're yet to subscribe, please do not forget to do so before you leave. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.